A horrible story from my childhood that still disturbs my mind. It happened when I was about 7 or 8 years old, in 2nd or 3rd grade. One day, in early cold October, a close friend of mine named Linda invited me to her birthday party. Living out of town in a small suburb and not having my own transportation, I had to stay the night. During the children's fun, as the gorgeous cake was being brought out, suddenly there was an alarming phone call on the landline. There was screaming in the receiver and Linda's mom turned pale. It turned out that my friend's grandmother had passed away a few minutes ago. My parents hurriedly left, as the lonely grandmother's house was in a different neighborhood. Linda and I and the neighborhood children were left alone, not knowing what to do next. Soon everyone went home. It was getting dark. My friend and I entered the house, locked all the doors, pulled the curtains and barricaded ourselves in the room. Then we made our bed. We hardly spoke at all. We were shocked by what had happened. I understood her grief, because I had lost my grandparents the day before. On her friend's face I could see the fear on such a day. Her birthday. We went to bed on the same couch, but we couldn't sleep. We lay in the dark, looking at the ceiling. After a while, we heard footsteps around the house, as if someone was walking relentlessly in heavy boots, though the gate was locked. Not paying attention to the sounds, we decided that probably the neighbors had come to check on us, and tried to sleep. Then the banging began, first at one window, then at all the windows facing the courtyard, as if several people were banging on them at the same time. Again we found an excuse, believing that branches from the wind were knocking against the glass. There were no trees around the house, though. The fear was becoming unbearable. But we couldn't think of what would happen next. Suddenly there was the sound of the front door opening. We heard the same footsteps, but already inside the house, and much louder. Someone or something walked into our room in a leisurely, sprawling stride. The threshold creaked. At that moment, I passed out from fear for the first, and only, time in my life. Linda and I woke up at dawn at the same moment. My nightgown had somehow ended up around my neck. We were confused, frightened, and didn't know where to start the conversation. After sharing our impressions of what had happened, it turned out that Linda, like me, had fainted. We came to the only conclusion that my friend's grandmother had come to say goodbye, as she loved her granddaughter very much. In the morning my parents arrived, looking depressed, and were surprised that they couldn't get into the house. All the windows were curtained and the doors were locked. In response to our account of the night scary visit, they were silent for a long time, looked somewhere off to the side and had to agree. It seems that it was really Grandma's spirit that came to say goodbye to you, Linda. After all, she loved you so much and couldn't come to your birthday party because she wasn't feeling well, Linda's mom whispered tearfully, hugging her daughter. At the time of her death, the old lady tried to call her granddaughter and congratulate her on the holiday, but did not have time. I never went to their house again. After a while, the family moved away. But the new owners told me that someone walks around the house from time to time. Still the same, heavy footsteps in boots and creaking floor. This happens before certain misfortunes in the family's life, as if a warning to the owners of the house.